Chubstep.
Jrad.
Creating the oil of judgment.
Steed. Chubstep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
You gotta get some decent chairs in here, man. What's this shit made out of, anyway? Steel? Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you should get it welded better in the corners.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show started.
Welcome back. Jared, great to have you back from Nambia.
Yes. Controversial. It was a controversial time for me.
Oh,
People
no.
were not fully on board with what I was doing.
Okay. Well, do you want to elaborate at all?
I
You-
want to elaborate?
We know you were doing charity.
Some people, okay. Okay, yeah, we can call it charity. Okay, here's what I was doing. You know Beanie Babies, right?
I know Beanie Babies.
Okay. There was a big market in the US for a long time on Beanie Babies. You
Yeah.
remember like the
Mhm.
whole thing, like people were like, oh, this Princess Diana one's gonna be worth $1 million and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
hmm
I find out that craze never hit Nambia.
Oh, man.
So here's the deal.
hmm
I have been mass transporting large quantities of Beanie Babies
Okay.
and starting the Beanie Baby craze in Nambia 25 years after it was a thing in the US.
Wow.
And so not only am I creating the market, I'm also just checking, like listing out the pricing and doing that kind of stuff. So I'm basically like creating shortages and I'm basically creating the economy of Beanie Babies. And I don't think it's because what part of the problem was it was a fad, right? And it
Yeah.
became too popular all of a sudden, they just kept producing them and then it wasn't special anymore. I'm gonna limit that. I know what Ty, who made Beanie Babies, did wrong in the past, and I think I'm gonna right that wrong. So I've been buying Beanie Babies on the cheap in the US and then kind of shipping it over there mass
Shipping them
quantities.
to- Yeah.
There's no sort of tariff thing on shipping it over to Nambia. So been doing it there, kind of setting up shop, teaching some of the local kids like, how to sort them, how to price them, how to know the good quality ones, and then we're kind of just working on like little stands throughout the country and kind of setting them up and selling them. So I've been doing that.
Okay. Okay.
It's a
So,
long process though.
you're helping them and yourself.
Yes, that's the way I look at it. It's a little controversial, but it is helping everybody.
In the long run, their economy is going to probably grow tenfold.
Oh, yeah.
The
I could see
stocks.
Beanie Babies being the main currency at some point.
Well, that's good. Readily available, cheap, probably cheaper than $1 costs to make than it costs to make $1.
Yeah.
Or like a coin. So good for you. Well, thanks
Thank
for
you.
taking time away from that to rejoin Chubstep.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Great.
So,
Okay. It's been so long. I'm so lost.
no.
Chubstep. What have you? What's been going on with you?
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about
Well, I know. Yeah, we haven't talked about other
anything.
stuff.
We've just
I got
been
a few
hitting our
things.
topics.
I'm gonna go before I've already helped out the kids in Nambia, the people in Nambia. I'm gonna give one more thing to help people out. We got a new promo code here, Steed.
Oh, no
all
way.
caps, JRADZ 50.
50.
50% off for new
50%.
customers, Vita Coco.
Get in on that. Vita Coco.
Right
You heard
now,
it here
Vita
first.
Coco. Go to Vita Coco, capital JRADZ 50. 50% off for new customers.
Wow.
Do it.
I know
it.
what I'm doing tonight.
Are you a new customer?
I'll make a new account.
Yeah, don't tell me that.
I have a new address.
Oh, you're right. Okay, you're a new person. You're
Yeah, and
born
then I'm
again.
moving. I just told you I'm moving in like 2 weeks, so I'll have another new
Yeah.
address.
There you go.
So they're going to be
Okay, there you
shipping
go.
loads of Vita Coke.
That's right.
And I'm
That's right.
going to take them for their ass. I'm
That's
taking
right.
that ass.
There you
Get
go.
200 cases, resell them, 25% discount. Bam, Vita Coco.
Man, you just beat the system.
Yep.
What's going on, Steed? I have been I went to Austin, Texas a couple weeks ago for a
Yes.
bachelor party, like 2 weeks after you and me were in San Diego.
Yeah.
Uh, it was a good time, Austin School City. There was something interesting that happened. Bryn Flake's just been on the show. There was maybe a time where he slipped in the shower and broke the quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here, broke the the bathtub spigot of the shower.
Like the
Um,
bottom one where
the
the
bottom
tub
one,
water
correct.
comes out.
And he had this big cut on his back from it.
Okay.
Yes, and Steve, what's so
His
crazy about this? I've never seen this
history of
cut.
getting
Yes,
back cuts.
yes, this is the craziest thing. So I've never seen this sort of cut on somebody's back. It's a very weird spot, kind of like below the shoulder blade, but goes down to like halfway down the back, like a weird spot to get a cut. It's just hard to like fall there. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, as you just mentioned, Brenda's had this exact same cut. So I found this picture of him like 3 years earlier at an Ole Miss football game where he quote unquote fell into a bush and he had the exact same cut. It was
He
the
did this,
weirdest. He ripped
then
his
he did
shirt.
it again. There was another time where he also fell on his back and cut his back. Like every time he drinks, he just falls on his back.
Who says this is even drinking related? Who even knows at this point?
Well, yeah, showers are slippery. I'll
The
give him
showers
that.
are slippery. I get it. I get it. That happened. We played a game of pool basketball where Chubstep V-Dog, he was going up for a dunk. He got blocked or what something happened. He ended up landing with his elbow on the concrete,
Oh my God.
lost feeling in his hand.
Yeah, you
Uh,
don't need feeling.
just a couple weeks later, has finally come back, but literally the
Oh
whole
my
night could not feel his hand. It kind of ruined the game a little bit, so that's kind
Yeah.
of a bummer.
Did it cost him the game?
We did lose the game. We were losing before that though, so
Oh, well, no,
so
no.
it was wiped
You would have
out.
came back.
Yeah, I was just in St. Augustine, Florida this past weekend. It's the oldest city in America, Steve. Do you know that? If people were to ask you what's the oldest city in America,
You know what
what
I'd
do you
say?
know? It's St. Augustine, Florida.
I would actually say Roanoke.
No.
Yes, that was the lost colony of Roanoke.
Yeah, so this is actually, yeah, I know what you're talking about. This was actually settled by the Spanish in like the 1500s. So
Hmm.
before America was the thing, obviously it's a Spanish settlement for a while. Very cool city. If people have been St. Augustine, about a 45 minutes south of Jacksonville, Duval,
Duval.
and good times there. Here's the deal. I played golf with this guy, and if I were to describe him, and you didn't think it was a real story, like say I was making a movie of this and I had this guy as a character, you would not believe that this guy was a character. Like he wouldn't be believable. He talked like the penguin in Oz, the penguin in the new series on HBO. Like
Wait,
basically like
with the Batman
heavy,
one?
yeah, the Batman one. He kind
Oh,
of had that thick
I've seen parts of that. Thanks for
yeah.
reminding me to keep watching it.
Oh, it's a great show. That's a great show. So talked that kind of accent, right? Why
I
can't
like
that like
golfing. I like golfing.
what you
I
doing,
like,
doll? Hey.
I
Yeah, kind of like
like golfing. I'm
he
probably
doesn't.
doing a bad job.
He's kind of a New York, Jersey accent. Uh, yeah. What are you doing, doll? That kind of
Oh,
thing, like that.
I love New York!
But he just the stories he was saying, just this ridiculous guy, just mid 50s, vaping the whole time, drinking a Monster Energy drink.
oh my
This is
God.
and then he's like, talking about some story where the golf course he back home in Jersey, you'd pay some girl, the cart girl, $20 to show your boobs, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And I'm like, but this is just like some random guy I got paired up with at this foursome. Like it was
Oh
me,
God.
me and my brother and my brother-in-law, and then this guy gets paired up. But it's just like, and the guy's name is Jersey, from Mike. He's from Jersey, so Jersey Mike obviously is his name.
Yeah.
But just a character, just one of those guys who just you never
God.
forget. He's just
I
ridiculous.
honestly, I wouldn't. I'd be so pissed. I would go to the clubhouse and say, I want
Yeah.
my money back.
No, but he was so funny, and he looked ridiculous. He's wearing like
I'm
these
out. You know what? I'm out there trying to break course records.
yeah, wow, yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing about him, Steve. I'm describing him in this way he, looks and talks and all this kind of stuff. He's wearing these Jordan golf shoes that like look like basketball shoes, but they have spikes, and he's playing with PXG irons, which are the like basically the most expensive golf irons that they sell.
Yeah.
And so he's actually a pretty solid golfer, but just this ridiculous, ridiculous guy.
He could have been Jersey Mike from the sandwich.
It
Ring.
actually literally might have been Jersey Mike. I know that I'm thinking about this. Guy with some money, just ridiculous guy, probably made it big. So
Made sandwich
anyway,
money and he doesn't care.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's kind of catching me up here, Steve. What about you? Anything you wanna get to before we get to our big topic here?
I just want to say real quick, he's vaping, so I'm assuming he quit cigarettes.
Yes.
And he completely negates that by just drinking Monster energy drinks, which
100%. Yeah. 100%.
probably are worse for your heart.
Hmm.
So, to all the kids listening, do crack cocaine instead. It's better. Anywho,
That's right. Doll.
that's right. Thanks, doll.
Yeah.
What did I do? I was invited to that trip. I just want everybody that thinks,
For the
I
record.
wasn't invited. I was invited. I had to go to Boise, Idaho, to do rich guy stuff. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of you people won't understand, because you're not moving into apartments that have a balcony overlooking a river.
That's true. That's
So-
true.
Still big money. Yeah. No, I've just what the heck have I been doing? Oh, I went to the beach on a date with our friend Taylor that's getting married this
T-Bron,
week.
yeah. Chubs of T-Bron.
Yeah,
He's been on the show.
Yeah, I took him away for one last beach getaway.
Nice.
We didn't have sex, which a lot of people were thinking.
That's what people were thinking, yeah.
Everybody at this restaurant were thinking that because two out-of-towners walked into, this kind of secluded beach restaurant, and we were wearing the same sweater, which we bought in San Diego.
Oh yeah, the matching sweaters. That's right.
Yeah. So I just want his wife to know, you better be on guard because he has options.
There we
Don't
go.
get
Hey, that's
complacent.
exactly. You have to fall in love every day, right?
Because I'm there. I'm waiting.
Because if not, Steed's in the wings.
I'm ready to scoop him up.
Yes. Perfect. All right. Well, let's do it, Steed. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's get into it.
We are talking, obviously, if you've read the description of the episode, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about Pandas.
Oh, yeah.
Panda, Steed, for those who don't know,
Panda.
is an initiative that aims at imparting financial independence behavior to girls in the age of 18 to 25 in Tanzania. Panda teaches girls about saving, innovation, entrepreneurship, and career development.
Of course I knew that. I'm a chairman.
But actually, that's Panda, the program in Tanzania. We're actually talking about Pandas, the bear.
The critter. Yeah.
The critter, the bear.
Now, there are two types of pandas. I'm mainly focusing on the giant panda, not the red panda.
Interesting. I didn't even, you know what? When I put panda, I didn't even think to talk about the red panda.
Nobody does.
I was only looking at giant panda. Red panda is an awesome looking animal.
Yeah, they're cute little guys.
They're very cute animal. Very cute animal. Actually, one of my favorite animals. I completely forgot about red panda. Continue.
Yeah, if I was a billionaire, so once I hit the lottery, I'm probably going to purchase a red panda and then just punch its little teeth out, declaw it so it can't harm me,
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll put oven mitts on it or something, and like a mouth guard in. So even if he wants to bite me, he wouldn't be able to, and then I'll just pet him all day.
So there's also Red Panda, the acrobat. She's the one that goes on that crazy unicycle and then kicks the plates onto her head.
I'll take your word for it.
Red Panda is insane. I'm going to show you. Sorry, real quick. I know this is off topic. Well, it's not off topic because we're talking about pandas. Here we go. This is Red Panda. I've seen her. I don't know where. I don't know if she was at a Marquette. I think she was at a DePaul Marquette game. So she does this unicycle, and then she gets these plates, and she
let's see.
Well, let's skip ahead.
She's unicycling.
Okay, it's on her foot right here, right? She's got two of them right there.
She's gonna no way. She's kicking the plates up, and they go right onto her head.
They're
head
bowls.
Plate.
She's actually doing bowls.
Bowl.
Yeah. But
she keeps going. She keeps adding bowls.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Get out of here.
Four on her foot right now. She's on a unicycle. She's with one foot, and then she kicks it,
Wow.
That's pretty crazy, right?
I'm
That's
telling you
Red
right
Panda.
now, there's magnets in those plates.
Hello, I bubble freak.
Why, hello.
Okay, pandas. You want to start off with some panda facts?
Yes, panda facts. Let's hear it.
Okay, panda facts. These are really fun things about pandas. Okay, the first panda came to the US in 1936. 1936. That's a long time.
Great
We will
Depression.
get so that's when the first panda people didn't even know what a panda was in the US
Yes.
until 1936. A newborn sorry, what?
Well, I was gonna say they didn't even know it was a bear until the 1970s.
Yeah. They just thought it was a dog or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they thought it was, but yeah.
A newborn panda cub is 1/900th the size of its mother. It's about the size,
Whoa.
yeah, small. It's about the size of a stick of butter.
Oh, hell yeah.
Isn't that cute?
That's crazy.
How does that survive? I don't know. I mean, that's wild.
Too small.
Too small. Okay, this is a fun one. Pandas have 6 digits on their hands,
Oh.
not 5 like humans. They have
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
They have 5 fingers, an opposable pseudo thumb, which is actually an enlarged wrist bone.
Oh.
And the use of that extra appendage is to hold bamboo. So these things are
Okay.
big on bamboo, which
Yeah,
everybody
I'm
knows.
addicted to it. Yeah. I don't get the
Yeah.
appeal, but
Of the bear family, pandas have the second longest tails
okay.
next to the sloth. Apparently,
Makes sense.
the
I didn't
sloth
know
bear.
sloth. I had no idea sloth was a bear.
Sloth bear. That might be a different thing. Sloth bear than a sloth, but I think it is a different thing.
Okay.
Sloth bear. I'm throwing a quick sloth bear googling because
Oh, I just googled that. It
won't
is
be able to
different.
get
Sloth
it
bear
out
is
of my
actually a
head.
different thing than a sloth. I looked it up.
Yes. Oh yeah, those things are sick. I love those. Sloth bear, my probably top 5 favorite bear. Top
Okay.
3, top 2.
Wow.
Female pandas actually only. This is a little girl talk, mini girl talk. Female pandas only ovulate once a year. Jealous. And they're and they're only fertile for 2 or 3 days. So male
Wow.
pandas, you got to get in there when
Yeah,
the getting's good.
that's right.
Yeah. They did sequence the giant panda genome, so we can probably clone them.
Good.
Let's see. Pandas are one of the few animals whose parts have not been used in traditional Chinese medicine.
Thank God.
You know how we've talked about this, how they use like pangolins and
Yeah.
just other random animals are like, we got to grind it up
Yeah.
and you got to drink this tea. Pandas, they respect the pandas. They respect them.
Yep.
99% of a panda's diet is bamboo leaves and bamboo shoots. They eat about 40 pounds a day of this because there is no nutrition in bamboo, and these dumbass pandas can't figure out to eat anything else. They're
Oh my
so
God.
stupid. They've evolved. They used to eat meat 2 million years ago, and they were just
Yeah,
like,
they're technically carnivores, right? And then they
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
they're still technically carnivores, which is like weird. And they're
Yeah.
just like, nope, we're just doing this bamboo thing
Yeah.
for 2 million years. They got an extra thumb for it. Sick. And they're just too dumb to eat anything else. Let's see what else. Pandas. Pandas, they get to about 200 to 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Much smaller than I thought.
It's
Much
because they're
smaller.
short. I think they're shorter.
Yeah.
So I think that is probably what affects that.
Which makes me think I could fight a panda. We'll get into that. We'll get into how some
Okay.
humans have fared. And then
Okay.
they live in, if you didn't know, they only live in China. They're from China.
Yes. They're all from China. Yep. That I did know.
So those are some quick panda facts.
Okay.
Get
I'm
you
gonna-
accustomed.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go over some controversies with pandas, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Yes.
Panda controversy. China, so obviously from China, but because China has this kind of market on pandas, there's a lot of
Mhm.
controversy around it. China has actually removed more pandas from the wild than it has freed, even though they say it's a big conservation effort.
Weird.
Yes, since
Well,
since they've been keeping track of that. So the whole
Yeah, I
thing's
mean,
supposed
why
to be
would
they're
you
supposed
let
to be
one
breeding
go?
them and releasing them. I don't know. Wherever there's like 1,800 pandas alive in the wild, they would just go wherever those go.
Hmm.
So they use kind of strange breeding techniques in some of these Chinese like breeder areas because they're trying to get more pandas into the world because they were an endangered species. So they use something
Yeah.
called electroejaculation, which is a stim up the rectum, electrostim up the rectum. Uh,
Of the what?
so they're trying to get
So they
they put
put
an electric stem up the male's
stem.
rectum, stimulation.
Well, sign me up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I was going to say is some people pay good money for that, but these people other
Yeah.
people are complaining that they're doing this to pandas. Like I just don't understand if
You
they
know what?
know if they like it or not. I don't. I just
I would like to go in and get tested, and I'll
yeah
be the judge. I'll to put everyone's mind at ease. I'll go in, I'll get tested,
yeah
and if it's good, I'll say the pandas. It's
yeah
probably okay. If it's bad, I'll say no.
yeah
We
not
can't
good.
do this to pandas
Yeah,
anymore.
and then sometimes they drug them on ketamine
Okay. Once
in
again,
order to. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is so
I'm
far these breeding techniques. I'm like, this sounds just like a party somewhere. It's
yeah.
like somebody's doing a like an orgy thing. Um, some sort of
How does the
swingers
ketamine
scenario.
help?
I don't. I think they're maybe drugging them so that they can put them together without them like fighting it. I don't know. It'll just be like they're pregnant. They get them pregnant again. It's like nonstop. So they do some
That's the point.
overbreeding.
What I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
it's at the
whatever.
they say it's at the health risk of the panda. So I can't really speak to that because I haven't talked to a panda. So I'm not sure.
Mm,
Another
okay.
controversy, Steed, is they aren't real. Do you have this in your notes here?
No.
People there's a TikTok and thing going on. Apparently, one of the guys in Southern Charm or something said that they're not real. Pandas are not real.
Okay.
So the thought is that they are actors in suits,
Mm,
like a panda suit, right? Similar to when we
yeah.
talked about the group that dressed up a dog. They painted the dogs to look like pandas. We talked about that before.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, similar to that. They think it's like that's their scenario or thing. But part of the reason they think that is because they're like, okay, like you said, a carnivore that basically just eats bamboo. How does that make any sense? They don't really have sex in captivity. Like that, they have to like do all these extra things to get them to have sex. I didn't realize this, Steve. Pandas made belly to belly, and they're kind of chubby. They're kind of like they have ultimate dad bods, both the male and the female. Here's a
Yeah.
thing about their and might be why I'm gonna say this. This might be why they don't have sex in captivity because there's other people around, there's other animals
People
around.
are watching.
Fully erect. They
Yeah,
have
I
a.
was wondering. I was just
Do
going
you
to
have
look
this?
that up.
Okay, 1.5
No,
to
I
two
was going to
inches.
look it up.
One
One
and a
and a
half
half
to
to
two.
get it.
1.5 to 2 inches for a thing that weighs 250 pounds.
Okay, so
So
that's wild.
yeah. So when they're in there with the gorillas and the big apes and the humans and stuff like that, it
Well,
would
actually,
be
we know the apes have a similar size penis, maybe even smaller.
okay. But there's not. I mean, that's pretty small.
Yeah,
The
maybe like a
point is, Steve,
giraffe.
if you're there's other animals looking around, and it's got to be humiliating for them.
Hmm.
So and they're being watched and all this kind of stuff. I could just see like that would be tough. That would be
Yeah.
tough. Evidence is showing the fossils go back to 6 million years for pandas. So they say they've been around a while. I think the issues might be that there's just more social media, there's more cameras everywhere. If they're trying to,
Hmm.
have another panda baby and somebody's watching, they're like, I don't want anybody to see what I'm working
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, as a man with you know, uh, endowed basically as well as pandas, when I film myself, I never get my face in it because I'm too shy. I'm too
Good idea.
embarrassed. I'm
Good
embarrassed
idea.
about it.
Good
So I
idea.
know how the
Whatever.
pandas feel in this
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about this true crime things, dude.
Okay, true crime. Okay, quickly I'll go into yeah, you know what? We'll do the true crime. Then we'll get into panda attacks.
Okay.
Oh, I clicked. Oh, I'm on sloth bear. Okay, so the first panda that ever came to the United States was acquired by a woman named Ruth Harkness and her young associate Quentin Young. So Ruth Harkness, she was alive. This was back in 1936.
Yep. Yep.
She had a husband. This dickhead's name, I don't know. He died. So gosh, what the heck? He doesn't matter. Her husband died. He wanted to get a panda. And her wife was like, I'm not just a pretty face and some doll. I'm going to go finish my husband's legacy.
Sure.
With a handsome young man named Quentin Young.
Okay.
So at this point, there's a picture of her. She's probably in her 60s. Old Quentin Young. He's a Chinese American man who's 25 and chiseled.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a handsome man.
Ruth is not.
Ruth is not, but apparently she had the cash to. She was very rich.
Okay.
A romance did develop while they were in China, rescuing this panda.
Okay.
Which could not continue because everybody was super racist in America. So when they got back, they had to end their romance because he was Chinese.
That's tough.
And
it's in the 30s. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the panda. Before this, the only Americans that had ever seen a panda was Theodore Roosevelt and his son Kermit, which is shocking. Yes. I did not know that Theodore Roosevelt's son was named Kermit.
Never had heard.
Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
So they were the first Americans to see a panda, and as Teddy Roosevelt be doing, he shoots it and eats it.
Yep.
That's what Teddy do,
hunter.
baby.
He was a big hunter.
Yeah, and they named the teddy bear after him. They didn't name it the panda bear.
That's right.
Because that was food. He did not comment on the taste of it, but with some other research, apparently the panda does not taste very good.
That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, people say
heavy wood taste to it.
Yeah, it's not great. I do have a list of what zoo animals taste like. Maybe we'll get into that at the end of the episode. Okay, so anyway, Ruth and Quentin, they set sail to Chengdu in the autumn. Love is in the air. They're banging. She's thinking about her dead husband, Bill. There's his name. He died. He actually did die in China trying to get a panda.
Wow.
So yeah, she's like, I'm doing this legacy. Me and my boy toy, we're going out there, we're banging, we're getting pandas. Anyways, they get this panda. Apparently they killed the mother panda because they got a baby. Because they can't, get the full size panda back. Sure. So the rumor is they killed the mother, got the cub, put it in Quentin's shirt, hid it in his shirt. When they, to go around town, and I don't know how nobody noticed the panda because it was pretty big. They go through customs and they said, no, it's just a big dog.
Yeah, because people didn't know what it was.
Yeah, they're like, he's just a weird ass dog. They get to New York and they're like, bitch, we got a panda. And they start showing it off. Yeah, and then they brought it to Chicago's Brookfield Zoo in 1937, and everybody was pumped. So that's the story of how the first panda made it to America. It was just straight up stolen, mother killed, brought to America. And now,
wild.
Yeah, crazy. The second and third pandas, which the first legitimate pandas to get to America, actually Tricky Dick Nixon. So we got two presidents involved in the pandas. Yeah. Nixon went to meet Chairman Mao. I believe Mao Zedong. Historically a great guy. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, people really loved him.
He's responsible for several million deaths, but they were like, "Hey, let's not nuke each other." And Mao Zedong's like, "You know what? In a show of good faith, take these two pandas, and we won't nuke you." Don't nuke us.
We wouldn't want to, nuke our own. Yeah, don't nuke us. We're not going to nuke you because you've got our pandas. We wouldn't want to nuke your pandas.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's like a little hostage trade situation. So
yeah,
that's the story of the first three pandas. Now I feel like we got a bunch. I don't know. We probably have like 10 pandas.
No, I think there's actually only like 2 or 3 right now in Atlanta. I am actually going to get into that a little bit, Steve. I'm going to get into that.
Okay, well, I want more.
Sure.
All right. Well, yep, that's our true crime panda
Thank
theft.
you. So here's the deal. Here's what this panda thing is going on. So basically, since from the 600 AD in the Tang Dynasty, not to be confused, the Tang, the drink that astronauts drink. This it was the Tang
Yeah.
Dynasty. They've been giving out pandas as kind of a diplomacy technique, Steve.
Oh,
So that's actually a thing that they were doing. At one point, there were 65 that were lent out to 20 countries, and not
wow.
too long ago. So that's just a common thing. They lent them out, right? But
Hmm.
1984, they so instead of just giving away, basically 1984, that's when they decided to lend them out instead of like just giving them as a donation. And basically, you get a 10-year
Oh,
period. You get a loan of your panda, and it's a 10-year thing, and it's $1 million a year you pay for your panda,
wow.
and you can extend
Pretty
it
worth it.
further. Yeah, I'm sure you get way more than that in revenue coming in for people to see
Yeah, you make
pandas.
that panda cash. Hmm.
But if one of those pandas has a baby during captivity, you have to give that baby back to China before its fourth birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd
So
I'd hide it.
so here's the thing. Panda uses no, China, sorry. China uses this as a bargaining chip. So like if they like I think
Smart.
there's something where like Scotland got one, but England didn't because they had some oil deal going with Scotland.
Oh my God.
We had an extra one in the U.S. at one point. Obama sent it back after meeting with the Dalai Lama because like Dalai Lama
Son of a bitch.
didn't like China and all this kind of stuff. So Obama was like, send it back, send it back. And remember Dalai Lama,
That's
that's the guy that
ridiculous.
isn't Dalai Lama the guy that kissed that boy on the mouth?
Yeah, he licked him, or he told
Licked
the
him,
boy to
licked
lick him.
him. Yeah, put the lick or whatever that was. And you're trusting him to send a panda back, whatever.
Yeah.
After the Malaysian flight 370, Malaysia was about to get a panda. China says, no, you guys crash the planes. No, we're not sending. Nope. Don't give them a panda. They kind of use this as like as an extra like just little diplomacy thing. It's very interesting. There's a bunch of examples of this kind of stuff with sending out
That's
pandas.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are pretty shitty at planes and stuff. So sorry.
I got one
Honest, it,
yeah.
I don't know where Malaysia is. I always thought it was in China. I thought it was a city in China. So
It is
that's on
not a
me
city in
for not being
no.
cultured.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. It is in Southeast Asia. It's in you're not
Well,
like crazy far
hey,
off, but it's
if they
not
don't
in
got a
China.
panda, they're not on my radar.
There you go.
Just
There you
like
go.
flight MH370.
That's right. Malaysian Airlines. So, Steed, you said you had some things where people were getting bit?
Yeah, so there are no records of any human being killed by a panda. They're not carnivores, they won't eat people.
Yeah.
You basically have to be in their face and like try and give them a hug,
Yeah.
which as it would happen, there are
Yeah.
three instances since 2006 in Beijing where this has happened. 2006. So I thought I could fight a panda, and there are graphic injuries on this website. I don't know if I'm on like I think I'm on a medical case or something, like how to treat a panda wound. It is freaking disgusting. I can't share my screen
Yeah.
because it's disgusting.
I'll trust you for that. So just
I
like
almost
kind of the Revenant type of thing, right?
worse.
Oh God. Okay.
It's bad. Okay, yeah. So 2006, 28-year-old drunk male tourist visiting Beijing. He was visiting from China. His name was Zhang. Uh, I don't know, maybe somewhere else.
Sure.
Anyways, he's drunk. He's like, "Hey, buddy, I'm gonna go pet that panda." And his friend was like, "Do it, pussy." So he jumps in the panda, tries to pet the panda. His right calf gets mauled,
Oh
bitten,
God.
just ripped open. Dude has uh gigantic holes and basically strip ripped out of his arm because it
Oh
bit his
God.
arm too. Um, and they gave him a skin graft. He's okay. It is disgusting though. Then in 2009, a 32-year-old male tourist, also named Zhang, Uh, he accidentally fell in. Sure, he did. He jumped. You're not
Yeah, for
32
sure.
and accidentally falling into the panda
No.
enclosure.
No. No.
Yeah. Also, put a net up there, guys, or something.
Please.
Anyways, he falls in. Panda mauls him. He gets it way worse than the first guy. Panda fucked up one of his legs and then I guess just walked away. I mean, not good. Then again, 2009 was a bad year for panda maulings because then a 39-year-old male tourist a few months later also fell in accidentally, apparently again. So really, it's the zoo's fault at this point. His foot, Jesus Christ, his foot was bitten. This picture is so disgusting. His foot was bitten, not that bad, you know.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah, your foot gets bitten. The top of his foot is basically ripped off all the skin.
Yeah.
His ankle's a little messed up, but his elbow, the panda basically took a panda-sized bite out of his arm.
God.
Like all the skin, all the meat is gone. There's just like,
Oh God.
it's disgusting. So, oh God, Jesus Christ. There's like 30 pictures. And I'm just gonna exit out of that just in case I look at it again.
Okay.
So, God, it's gross. So yeah, pandas will absolutely demolish you.
Okay.
They do not like to be hugged. You
Okay.
might be
Good to know. They
tricked.
look cuddly, but do
Maybe
not
the
hug them.
cub. I would risk it on a panda cub.
Okay.
But all the years of chewing bamboo sticks,
Yeah.
you know, you ever seen the karate movies where guys like punch bamboo?
Yeah.
And they're training their fists. Pandas are training their teeth.
That makes sense.
It's yeah, it's bad. So if you are gonna fight a panda, I'll just give you a little advice.
Yeah.
Here's how I would do it. You're gonna wanna, much like a tiger, because tigers have a big gag reflex. We went over how to fight a tiger. You punch them down the throat, and then you get out of there. You're gonna want to fake the punch on the panda, and I think the
Okay.
panda's gonna cower
Yeah.
because you know while they bite, like they only give people 2 bites, and then they kind of.
Sure.
So you want to fake the punch, show him your boss, and then he's gonna recoil, and then you just kind of puff your chest out and like saunter over.
Oh.
You know, you do a cool guy walk, maybe like
Yeah.
You do this like that's all you got, like right. You look at the panda
Yeah.
and say that as you're walking away, and then just
The
turn
mental
your
game.
back to him completely and just kind of slowly saunter away.
Yeah. The mental game. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So you're saving people's lives for those, but also do not hug them. But if you happen to want to hug them or get in,
If you accidentally
this is-
fall in, because the
you guys are
guardrails
are
at
so
the
low.
Beijing Zoo apparently are
Apparently-
yeah, maybe
apparently just-
non-existent.
Yeah, maybe just don't happen. Yeah, they just.
I
are
feel
not
like
there.
there's a slip and slide that leads you to the guardrail.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens. Steed, speaking of violent pandas, you're familiar with Kung Fu Panda, correct?
I've never seen the
The
movie.
movie. Yeah. I've never seen it either. To be fair, I know the concept,
Okay.
right? I know it's starring Jack Black. Everybody loves Jack Black,
Yes,
right?
everyone. Mhm.
What's some of your favorite Jack Black movies?
School of Rock.
Yeah. School Rock is admittedly his
Oh,
favorite
you know
movie
what?
that he's done.
Shallow Hal was
Shallow Hal.
good.
Shallow Hal is my personal favorite. I think I would go 1 Shallow Hal, 2 School Rock.
All right. I'm probably more immature than you, but at least I have a bigger willy.
Yeah, bigger than a mouse's.
What the hell was that?
I said your willy's bigger than a mouse.
I heard what you said, but it took you like 8 seconds. You can't come back with a comeback after 8 seconds. You got 3 seconds, 5, tops. I mean, that's why they call it a quip, not a slope.
Shallow Hal, Steed. The main girl in Shallow Hal, Gwyneth Paltrow. Remember, she's the one there. Gwyneth Paltrow was in Shakespeare in Love with none other than Ben Affleck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I bet Ben Affleck's probably pet a panda himself.
Probably has.
Yeah.
So there you
I've
go.
never seen Shakespeare in Love though.
I think I watched it in like high school or something.
The whole thing confused me because I'm like, Shakespeare, there's no way Shakespeare's in this.
Yeah.
And just never wanted to watch it. You know what? They lost
it makes
the ticket
sense.
sale right there with the name.
There you go. Right there. There you go, Steve. That's tough. Do you have anything else on pandas before we wrap up here?
No. Do you want to know the best tasting zoo animal
Yes.
though?
Best
Okay.
tasting zoo animal. Tell me.
Okay. All right. I'll give some honorable mentions. Um, Elephant is apparently delicious. So if you're
Interesting.
eating,
I went.
yeah, somebody got to eat it in 1864. A Scottish missionary while exploring Mozambique. He said it was cooked in native fashion, and it tasted like bone marrow. And he said it was delicious.
Okay.
Um, Giraffe is apparently delicious. Penguin, skip
Okay.
the penguin. It tastes like dog shit, apparently,
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say that sounds like it'd
horrendous.
be fishy, like shitty, fishy bird. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds bad.
it well described as a piece of beef, odoriferous codfish, and a canvasback duck roasted together in a pot with blood, cod liver oil for sauce. That was
Wow.
the description. So you were pretty much
Very.
right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not great. Tortoise, Galapagos tortoise. The soup is good. Meat is not good.
Okay.
Lions, surprisingly tasty. Kind of like
Interesting.
venison with the texture of gator. Um,
Oh, interesting.
Python. Yep, you can actually eat python in Evans Neighborhood Pizza in Fort Myers. They offer Everglades pizza. It's got slivers
Okay.
of 20-foot pythons on it.
Oh God.
Um, Gorilla. Um, so this is kind of scary because gorilla, flavor wise, rich, smoky, and veal like. Um,
Okay.
which sounds pretty good until you remember that
Yeah.
that is probably the closest thing to human flesh you can eat. So
Yeah.
do with that what you
Very true.
will.
Very
I,
true. Very
I
true.
w- Hippopotamus is our winner.
Okay.
Peter Hathaway Capstick, author and hunter. He said it is my
Yeah.
personal opinion that hippo meat is one of the finest game foods. The taste is mild, less than lamb,
Wow.
and more than beef, slightly marbled, uh, slightly
Yeah, they're
more
fatty.
marbled than usual venison, and it tastes exactly like hippo. That was his words.
Say like hippo.
So
I don't know how to. I don't know what hippo tastes like, so it's not a good description. But I could see it being kind of fatty. I also would think it would be kind of any of those ones with the water. I would just be worried that it would be fishy tasting, but I guess they're not. They're just
soggy.
in water. Nah, I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
just hanging out in water.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah,
Um,
I mean they're fatty. They're fatty. It's good. I'm
yeah, they got the blubber. I would
yeah.
take a chance eating a hippo.
I'd try it. I'd try it.
Hmm.
Thank
We
you,
should
Steve.
get
That
one.
helps. That helps. Yeah, we should get that when we have our swan dinner with it.
I'm eating
Our
that swan.
swan for Thanksgiving, hippo for dinner or
Hmm.
for Christmas.
For whatever.
Um, Perfect. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you have other ideas you want us to do, like I said, we've got some other ones coming up. I'm just waiting for some guests or things like that. But if you have other ideas, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. We like to hear them. This is Panda. Pretty
That was
simple.
Panda.
That was Panda. That's everything you need
Yeah,
to know.
not too crazy. I mean,
No,
I'm
not too
sure you
crazy.
learned a lot about pandas.
I learned some stuff.
I
The
did
show
too.
was okay. We're ending the show. That's the reality of it.
Okay.
This is enough about
Yeah.
pandas. We're moving on. Next week, something else. The show has ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.